first game
Let's
of
go.
our winner bracket top 4 with Kudo Box going up against Pingpingho, with Kudo Box going in with Ezreal Draven and Pingpingho with Trundle Lysandra. So
Ezreal
what do you think
Draven
of this
against
matchup, man? What
Trundle
do you think of this
Lysandra.
matchup?
I'm pretty sure that Liz Trundle will win because of the sheer amount of bot clears that they have, and if SD is not able to actually have a bot, he will just lose.
Yeah, not forgetting Ezreal Draven is kind of slower in a sense, where we know that there's no much ways that he could remove the huge units coming in from the Lysandra deck as well. And here we see a Everson Sentry from Pingpingho, and I think and it has the Trundle as well, right? So Kudo kind of needs to find ways to remove the Trundle moving forward, and Pingpingho hand just looks kind of stacked as of right now.
Yes, it's looking super good with especially with the top deck on for 3-on-3. The Lysandra on 3. See, Pingpingho's a good player. That's why he can draw his 3 drops when he needs to.
Yeah.
But yes, this is actually looking pretty good for Pingpingho because he will be able to actually stop the aggression, and taking three damage right now is relatively inconsequential as compared to keeping your list healthy.
Yeah,
It's
so
a fair trade-off.
at the same time, he's drawing one card off the Everson Sentry as well. Just taking this for damage. It's not going to be too much of a problem because he drew himself a healing spell, which is the Catalyst of Aeon, which will be bringing him closer to that Trundle, and also one step closer to the to the ice pillar as well. So leveling up the Trundle is not going to be too much of a problem if he actually chooses to go for a Catalyst of Aeons here. But I think that Abyss, right? The Blighted
Catalyst
Abyss.
is not correct.
Yeah, so
It's
that
not
Blighted
correct in this
Abyss
place.
might be one of the better plays also.
The blighted ravine should be the play here, or he could pass. See how would Kudos actually respond, and if Kudo actually develops even more with his spiders or with the Sun Dredger, right? Then you can punish it with the blighted ravine.
Yeah, so it seems like he's going for the
Oh,
Catalyst
okay.
of Aeons, healing up 3 more additional damage, ramping up for 1 mana as well. So, and we know that Pingpingho is not going to be active in combat this turn, so it's probably going to be passing the turn back to Kudo. And Kudo kind of needs to try to add stacks as well, as like right now, he's not adding too much value, too much. There's no good removal, right, for Kudo to actually fire off onto Pingpingho's board, as Lysandra has a tough and it's going to be a little bit more difficult to remove with burn spells coming in from Kudo.
Personally, I think that catalyst play was a bit questionable. I'm not sure why, because whether he has 5 mana or 6 mana, it doesn't really make much of a difference. And he will still have 6 spell mana anyway this coming turn, which means that he could actually use it for, like, I don't know, using the Valfeast to actually get something out. So now he's pretty behind on board, and it was that catalyst was just a really questionable play, I feel, because it's not like turn 3 where you can skip into turn 5, which would allow you to drop your Trundle.
Mm-hmm. But then again, who are we to question the seasonal champion as well? So with 7 mana open, he's immediately going in for the Blighted Ravine. This way, he's just gonna do 2 more additional damage to everything, which could be removed. Which could remove both the champions with the Withering Will the next turn also. So, but I think Kudo actually has another Ezreal and also another Draven in his hand. It's not going to be too much of a
So
problem.
what does it matter, right?
Yeah, and Pingpingho is not going to commit another unit on his board to allow Kudo to have a free ping on it as well to add stacks onto Ezreal. So this way, I think Pingpingho kind of still controlling the game a little. Health. He's still relatively healthy at the same time also.
Yep. That static shock was cause Kudo is actually trying to cycle through the deck, and here comes the open attack, which is, I feel like you should develop, because the open attack will almost always fizzle to nothingness, because That's clearly a whale setup, ice, what's that called? Ice shard setup. You know, these kinds of things. So you should develop and see what is Pingpingho gonna do.
That is true. So I think the Trundle over here might be Pingpingho's play, or he could just go for a Valve Feast, try to get himself a blocker for that some treasure, and like, he always have to keep 5 mana up for combat, so to remove the Azure and Draven at the same time. So as of right now, I think Pingpingho has a few line of play, and he could just go for the Trundle, he could go for the Valve Feast and add have an additional blocker at the same time, and all he needs to do is just stall 4 more turns, and he's gonna have an 8/8 draw as well. So I think Pingpingho has to remain
I think
be
Trundle
cool.
is the play here. Trundle is the play here, which forces Kudo to develop more, I guess.
Well, I think a probably Trundle and then into Arcanoid Sentry and then into Thermal Beam. I think this could be the line of play for this turn.
Yeah, so even though the Arachnoid Sentry plus the Sun Dredger equals into 7 damage, but you still have something on the board, and you get to remove two champs, which is important.
Yep, and this Withering Wheel is just gonna remove both champions from Kudo's side of the board, taking 4 damage from Pingpingho, which is not negligible at this point of time because he has that Ravine, right? Now he's pretty open to play this Trundle, which would be highly
Trundle
highly
will level
likely.
up next turn.
Yeah, and highly likely would be Thermal Beat this turn by Kudo, and the Trundle is going down.
Bye Trundle. Too bad. But Pingpingho still has a lot of control tools in the form of Vengeance, in the form of Blighted Ravine, in the form of Avalanche. So he could even play the Trundle now to actually create a board presence.
Mm-hmm.
Or he could just open and soft pass with the Ice Pillar.
Yeah, so coming in with this Ice Pillar, soft passing the turn back over to Kudo, and I think Kudo over here has a few decisions to make, right? He kind of don't want to play into a Runation as well, but I think looking at Pingpingho list, there is no Runation.
No Runation.
Yeah, so and that Vengeance is actually his one copy of Vengeance, the only copy of Vengeance that he runs in his deck as well. So
wow, this guy is running a spicy deck.
Exactly. So based on what Pingpingho is doing, I think he's just focusing a lot on AoE damage and lots of healing, and it seems like he's going for the game plan of like Spectral Matron into Watcher and things like that. So this might be possible plays coming in for Pingpingho, but here we see a Draven immediately coming down, which I think Pingpingho don't really have much access to remove as of right now.
Well, Kudo had no fear as soon as he dropped below 7 mana because the only thing that can remove the Draven over here would be Vengeance. So over here, Kudo just committed a Thermal Beam. He is super scared of the Trundle leveling up, and overall just trying to keep a clean board on the side of Pingpingho. So what Pingpingho can do now is that maybe he can try to go with the Blighted Ravine, and then clear away that one card, and if Kudo actually develops even more, then he can go for the Avalanche next turn.
Right. So Pingpingho still is still in control, right? Like he still has like Avalanche, like what you said, he has Avalanche, he has Ravine to do 2 more additional damage, but I think over here, he has no way to actually deal with the Ezreal unless he chooses to go for the Vengeance the next turn as well. Right? So I think Pingpingho over here is
he's actually slowly losing control.
Mm-hmm.
While he may have a semblance of control right now, right? He's actually slowly losing control because on the side of Kudo, he's not actually running out of resources. However, Pingpingho may actually start running out of answers. But if he can get the list to level and tough it out, he may actually have a chance of winning this.
Yep, so he entreat into a Lissandra for Pingpingho, and I think playing the list here might kind of like limit his options the next time as well.
I feel like it's not list over here, unless he really wants a body.
So likely a pass over here might be the best move for Pingpingho. I mean, playing the list kind of like plays into that tri-beam. I'm not sure how big of a stack of the tri-beam is as of right now, but that
Either 4 or 5 wait, no. 2, 3-ish? Yeah,
yep.
but playing into the tri-beam is a mistake.
Yeah, so
I feel like there last turn he shouldn't. I feel like the Blighted Ravine was actually the better play. I may be wrong, but it feels like, because now he takes 4 damage, yes, but he also loses his Ice Pillar, which in the scenario where if you played the Blighted Ravine instead, you would kill the Sun Dredger, and so if Kudo wants to open swing, he can totally prevent any damage from happening.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, this attack coming in is just gonna bring Pingpingho down to 10, right? So, but I think Pingpingho is running really low on resources when it comes to healing, when it comes to control at the same time. And here we see a Ice Pillar coming in. That being said, the Lissandra is gonna be leveling up this turn, and he's gonna have a Watcher in hand, and we might see a Spectral Matron into Watcher this turn.
Yes. Hype. Hype
Yeah,
it up,
so
Moonboy.
everyone is hype as of right now, right? So we're gonna see a Lissandra, right? Pingpingho has to play the Lissandra this turn, and then into the Blighted Ravine to heal himself a little bit more, take away that some Dredger, or he could even like just go for an Avalanche and just take away that some Dredger and into a Ravine, I guess. But
At this point, Lissandra is irrelevant. You just play, get the Watcher, die. That's all Lissandra actually needs to do.
yeah, so Lissandra probably is not gonna do too much, right? So, Lissandra for the Watcher, and then you just go for the Matron into the Watcher, and ladies and gentlemen, we might get to see the Watcher in action. But Kudo has the Arcanite Sentry, which might spoil the party for us. Might
He
spoil
has
the party
one
for us.
Arachnite Sentry, but you have 2 Watchers.
Not just 2 Watcher, right? The subsequent Watcher would be free as well, because that Matron is gonna spawn him. Is gonna spawn him
2 Watchers.
2 Watchers, right? And both is gonna be coming out for free. And
oh wait, no. But here's the kicker.
There's no space.
Yes, there's no space.
Yeah, so it's really down to Kudo. Does Kudo has a way to actually deal with this, or what Pingpingho could do is go for a Ravine, and he could remove that one Ice Pillar as well, and at the same time that Ravine would be removed the next turn. So he has the space. He could deal with
space. He
created the space, and at the same time he's actually dealing with this Sun Dredger as well. And not forgetting the Draven is vulnerable at the same at this point of time.
Yeah, the Draven is vulnerable, so you can take the Watcher and beat him to death with it.
Yes, exactly. Here comes the Matron and an Ephemeral Watcher coming in for Pingpingho. And I think it's forcing Kudo to go for the stun. Arcanite Sentry stunning onto the Watcher. And not forget, Pingpingho has that free Watcher in his hand as well. I think that is gonna be it for Kudo's deck.
This is why you run. I guess this is the argument to run Matron over Revitalizing Raw, and just like that, Kudo realized that he can't win, and so he just conceded in the face of the Watcher.
Yeah, so here we see the seasonal champion taking in the first win in this round in the top 4 winners bracket top 4 round against Kudo Box. And he knows, Kudo knows that he has no way to deal with the Watcher. He knows there's one more Watcher coming in here, but he doesn't allow us to watch the whole animation. And Pingpingho's Lissandra deck is gonna be banned, and we're gonna be moving on to the next game. Game number 2 with Pingpingho with Monoshirima going up against Kudo. Taking on with Ezreal Draven.
Yeah, but honestly, that was... I would say that was actually pretty lucky for Pingpingho, as because he managed to draw into the 2 cards that he needed to actually win that.
Yeah, and Pingpingho actually got that combo going and forces Kudo to go for the scoop. And just a heads up, we have got news from the loser bracket that Gigas actually took the win over Artify, and Artify is out of the race in the summit this turn. And looking at this matchup, I think this matchup, Kudo is is kind of might be a little bit desperate to look for the Scorched Earth before the Sundisk is restored. But looking at Pingpingho's hand, he has the Renekton, he has that Azir. Pingpingho is really comfortable to be aggressive against Kudo.
Well, I mean, Kudo will, maybe he doesn't need to look for the Scorched Earth, but he definitely needs to have the better board state than Pingpingho. But with the Azir, with the Dune Keeper, Dune Runner,
Yep.
yeah, Dune Keeper, sorry.
Dune Keeper.
It's actually getting a bit hard. So right now, Pingpingho can even just drop the Azir here. It can't be contested because of the what's that, like he has it. He's not able to be thermal beam, yes, because it's Kudo's only at 4 mana, and he can even attack and generate another Sand Soldier, but he chooses to go for the
council,
council to
yeah.
actually try and stop the aggression.
Yeah, so as of right now, look at the amount of removal that Kudo actually has, right? The only way to actually remove the Azir is probably gonna be through damaging it and then going for a Ravenous Flock or a Thermal Beam onto the Azir, right? And here we see a Scorched Earth, which is gonna be pretty. It's gonna be one of the key cards in this matchup because it's gonna be removing that Sundisk. But Kudo actually has a choice. Do he really want to use this Scorched Earth on the Sundisk, or he could use it, more strategically against a Renekton who is damaged, which will always be damaged, right? And also an Azir as well, because both units are at a really awkward number, which is 4 and 6 health, which the Astral Draven kind of don't have ways to deal with them respectively.
You see, if you deal with the Renekton and you deal with the Azir, there's really no reason to deal with the Sundisk.
Yeah, so if you could control the champions, the Sundisk is not gonna be flipping anytime soon, but the numbers on the champions is just really weird for Kudo to deal with.
Yep, the sweet spots of like 4 HP, it somehow still holds true even until now. And Kudo is going for the swing. Maybe he shouldn't commit everything, just the Draven.
Yeah, so the Draven is probably a good unit to attack as of right now, and I think it's probably okay for Pingpingho to take this damage, but we see a council coming into the Shapestone, and there is probably no way to Kudo to remove this unless he's go for the Flock. And that being said, Pingpingho is free from 1 copy of Flock moving forward, and that the Azir and Renekton is probably safe for subsequent turns also.
But you see, just because that he used up 1 Flock doesn't mean that he's actually safe from the other things, such as Scorched Earth, a 2nd Flock, and Thermogenic Beam.
Yeah, but Pingpingho over here has the status as well as what we can see. The status immediately going in onto the council and not allowing to get the trade, not allowing Draven to get any damage at the same time. And council is at 4-6 worth of stats right now, which is pretty huge because coming in from the Shapestone, and then it was locked, and therefore the round was not over for the council. So basically. Yeah, so what happened? Yeah, so basically at the end of the turn, it just goes back down to the base stats.
Okay. That I was starting to think like, wait, what is that a bug? And then they just stay with it forever.
So here we see a Thermal Beam immediately going in onto the new Renekton that just came in as well from Pingpingho. So as Pingpingho hand is just 2 units, 2 champions as of right now, but at the same time Kudo is running low on resources. He's running low on burns, and a status is gonna help Pingpingho really much moving forward as well. So I think Pingpingho is kind of in the commanding lead if his units, if he could protect those 2 champions as much as possible.
Yeah, I would agree that right now he's not. I wouldn't say he's in a commanding lead, but it's a tipping point actually for both sides, because if Pingpingho is able to actually wrest back control from Kudo, he will actually have a good chance of winning, because both sides are actually pretty healthy. However, that is looking a little bit hard because of like the Draven, the Arachnoid Sentry, and of course everyone's favorite card, Farron. So it's looking a bit hard to actually wrest control from Kudo at this point.
Yeah, so as of I think Pingpingho kind of have to be the controller, like the controller of the game as of right now, right? And we see a pack of Path of Negation in Pingpingho hand as well that is gonna be pretty crucial going up against Kudo in this matchup, and a stun going onto the Renekton, which I think the Renekton shouldn't be moving a little bit, shouldn't be moving too much because he has to play around
Is it leveled yet? Yes,
stuff like that. And here we
Azir.
see Azir leveling up, dropping the Sundis down by 10 counts. And 10 counts is just so huge because right now, all the Sundis need is just 9 more turns and it's gonna be flipped. And we're gonna see level 3 animations again and again.
You make it sound like 9 turns is not a lot of turns, Moonboy.
Well, it's not gonna be a lot because the Renekton is just gonna stack up so much damage, and a Scorched Earth coming in onto
But it's
the
dead.
Sundis. He could protect the Sundis with the Rite of Negation from Pingpingho as well. Would Pingpingho go for the deny? And it seems like he is going for the Rite of Negation, denying this Scorched Earth from play. So the Sundis is still alive, and right now Pingpingho has to try to level up the Renekton so that he could flip the Sundis and get the ultimate value from
He
the
is
restoration of Sundis.
he's super desperate to keep the Sundis alive because the Sundis is his way. It's actually his way back. If he's able to actually level up with the Sundisk, he will be able to draw the 2 champs again. And of course, everyone knows that Azir has the broken ass deck too. So that is Pingpingho's way back. If he
Yeah. Uh-huh.
if he's able to level the Sundisk, but right now there is no vulnerables. There are no vulnerables in Pingpingho's hand. It's looking a little bit difficult to actually level the Renekton as it is. And Farron comes down, and that is going to be a super threat.
Yeah, but I think as of right now, this Pharron is not gonna do too much of a damage, right? Like as of right now, like
Really?
what Pingpingho could do is he could just spawn tons of sand soldiers and then like do the blocks accordingly, take the 8 damage, and then he could ultimately heal back 2 more
Ooh.
additional health with the council as well. And the whole game plan of that Azure Draven is probably gonna be put you down to 8 as of right now because of the nerf from the Pharron, put you down to 8 health and then finish you off with decimates. But I think as of right now, I think Pingpingho is kind of comfortable. Taking 8 damage over here is not exactly too dangerous because of the nerfs coming in from the decimate. But this Sand Soldiers is gonna make Kudo a little bit of a tough time to block against right now.
He's going for it. Can he wrest back the control? Is it possible?
Yeah, so at this point of time, it kind of Kudo has to commit all 3 different blades going into the Draven so that he could kill the Azir as of right now. But it seems like he's
He chose to
going
let
in
it go.
for the Pharron, pushing in more damage, letting the Draven go. And I think damage right now is of essence for Kudo. Kudo has to push in as much damage as possible so that he could just finish off with the decimates as well. But he's still constantly healing 2 more with the Devoted Council.
And I think that's why Kudo actually went for it instead of like because I'm not sure what is the Ezreal level right now, if it's possible to check, but he'll actually try to end it with the Ezreal leveling up and then playing the decimates.
Yeah, so not attacking with the Azure over there, Kudo is respecting a quicksand coming from Pingpingho. It might be a 1 card, but the card has been in Pingpingho hands for probably like 4 to 5 turns as of right now. So not attacking with the Azure is probably one of the safest thing to do. And this is the kind of level, right, that both players has to respect the counterplay coming in from both players. But as of right now, Pingpingho has nothing much to do, and he might even he can't even attack with the Renekton right now because there is a Pharron staring down at him, and Pingpingho just have to chill a little, just heal back with the Devoted Council, and just let the Sundisk tick down.
Yeah, he just needs to let the Sundisk tick down, but how long is he able to chill before Kudo actually breaks through? Because
Well,
it's super hard. I mean, Farron, while yes, he got nerfed, but he's still an 8/8 with Overwhelm, which is still super pressurizing to play against.
Yep, and another devoted council, and Pingpingho is just gonna get stacks and stacks of healing. But can he actually deal with this Farron that's incoming as well? You know that Farron is just gonna dish out so much damage, and you know with the Dune Keeper is just gonna be blockers at this point of time, right? So he has to deal with the Farron. If he has no way to deal with the Farron, Pingpingho is in lots of trouble against this Ezreal deck.
Should he start? Should he play the Arachnoid Sentry? I feel like he could play the Arachnoid Sentry to actually get the Ezreal to closer to leveling up, and I think he's either at 4 or 5 right now. So by playing the Arachnoid Sentry and stunning the Azir, it actually allows more damage to be pushed in.
Probably it, but I think Pingpingho desperately going for the Azir, the blocking with the Azir, which is not ideal for him at this point of situation, because he has to protect his unit as much as possible, and he can't go for the Ancient Hourglass on the Azir because he's just gonna take overwhelm damage as well. So I think Pingpingho is just looking very, very grim for Pingpingho, and all Pingpingho wishes to do right now is to allow that Sundisk to reach 0. But at this point of time, the counter is at 6. It's just not going to be happening anytime soon. And with the aggression coming in from Kudo and more pop caps as well. Yeah, so Kudo, so Pingpingho is in a lot of trouble. Moving on the next few turns, he needs to top deck into something, or else he's gonna just take. No, Kudo is just gonna take this round.
Yeah, Kudo is looking super good for Kudo right now, and he's even taking his time trying to level his Ezreal. If I were Kudo, I would actually honestly try and be rushing it so that I can actually finish up this game. But you know what? Rushing always leads to more misplays. The Preservarium, let's see if we can draw into something. They can nope.
Well, he got himself a golden ambassador, so the ambassador could get himself, an Azir or another copy of Renekton if he ever chooses to. But I think it's not gonna do too much against this board coming in from Kudo. Like, look at the aggression coming in from Kudo. He has the Azir, he has elusives, right? He has the Captain Fair enough getting 2 more decimates waiting to fire off against Pingpingho this round. So I think this seasonal champion might be going down to Kudo, as it's not looking very bright for him in this scenario.
But yes, it is of course a best of 3, and so Pingpingho will have a second chance if he loses here. But actually, his HP is actually ticking quite back up, and Kudo will eventually at some point need to level up his Ezreal, and not just take his time anymore as the clock gets closer and closer to leveling his Sundisk.
Yeah, so right here, he's going for the full attack. This kind of says that Kudo, enough is enough. I'm going in. I got a full board of minimally 4 damage. Right? If you have that quicksand on for my Ezreal, just show it to me and get it done and over with. And Kudo is saying, I'm going in for the aggression. I want to finish you off as soon as possible, because enough is enough. I don't want to deal with your healing. As
yes.
And this block just removed the Renekton. This block removes, one of the counselor, and the other one could be removed with a Ravenous Flock as well. And Kudo is just showing aggression right now, putting Pingpingho down to 8, and he's gonna deny that counsel from even surviving this round.
Yes, do it. Do the Ravenous Flock. Can it?
He could not just flock. He could just go for a Mystic Shot. He could just flock as well. Ideally, he wants to level up the Ezreal, as there's no way that he could deal with the Ezreal, and the Renekton, the 6/6 coming down, is still not gonna be too much of a difference. But I think everything else is just going down, and the Ezreal is gonna be leveling up, and Kudo is in huge problem.
Level, and after he actually is able to level the after he's able to level the Ezreal, this is just gonna be game, right? He'll just decimate and he will shoot with the Mystic Shots, and that's it. That's just game.
Yeah, so we see Pingpingho scooping up game number 2 against Kudo Box, and we are moving on to game number 3. So he's stuck with Mono Shurima. He's going up against the Fiora Shen the next turn as well. What do you think of the matchup that's going to come forward? I think Kudo might
versus Shurima?
Yeah, Pingpingho might be in a little bit of trouble with Shurima going up against Fiora Shen.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fight for the board, but the thing is that Fiora Shen actually runs a lot more. They actually run a lot more units as compared to the Mono Shurima, which is a bit light on units with only 15.
Yep.
So it should favor the side on the side of Fiora Shen, because at the end of the day, this is going to be a board fight as always. So it really depends on whether the Renekton, the Azir is able to actually like pull people and beat them to death.
Right. Yeah, so I think as of right now, I think the Fiora Shen is definitely in the pole position coming into game number 3, as I think both players are still picking their deck, and the game has not proceeded based on the observer's point of view. So, but right, I think the Mono Shurima might have a little bit of advantage when it comes to bot control with Renekton, with exhaust, pumping up together with like Renekton exhaust, and he could get the councils in time. His units might be surviving a little bit longer. And without further ado, let's just jump right into game number 3 with our top 4 winners bracket, with Pingpingho, with Mono Shurima going up against Kudo Box from Vietnam with the old school Fiora Shen.
But you see, now it's no longer old school. It's revamped Fiora Shen because it has one copy of Golden Aegis.
Yeah, so that one copy of Golden Aegis is the new card that added into the new set for the Demacia region. But I mean, looking at Kudo's hand, right? Look at Kudo's hand right now. He has no. This is our famous brick. This is our famous brick. Yeah, this is the famous brick for Fiora Shen. Like, it could go either way. It could go run really smoothly, or it could brick like what Kudo is happening right now. Kudo is in desperate need to draw himself like units, or else Pingpingho is just gonna smash him down. He has that Renekton, he has that Azir, and it's just a matter of time for Pingpingho to just.
He has the predicts. We are not able to see right now, but I guess we'll find out what Pingpingho predicted.
Yeah, so it's just right now. So what is it gonna predict? What Pingpingho has access to what his next card is gonna be like, and not forgetting, he has that three mana 3 mana landmark in his hand as well, which is a
the
Inner Sanctum. Yeah, so basically it could find himself lucky finds in his hand, which could ultimately grant the Renekton additional keyword if he ever chooses to.
So he'd actually want to go for Inner Sanctum here, right? Instead of the Azir, because he would be able to find a challenger and then take the River Shaper and then beat him to death. Yes, that is that. I feel like I say that a lot, but I still stand by it.
Yeah, but I mean, Pingpingho kind of have to find himself a copy of what is that called? He has to try to find the Sandstorm, right? If he ever chooses to want to deal with the barriers that's coming in to protect his opponent's unit and things like that. But I think you guys could see the Ascended Rise, right? That might be a card if
that is so good.
Yeah, that's one of the best cards.
In this particular situation.
Yeah, so he could just go for like the Azir and Renekton and then go for the Ascended Rise, leveling them up to level 2, triggering the Sundisk, flipping the Sundisk, and then leveling them up to level 3. Guys, we're in for a movie if that actually happens. And looking at Kudo's hand right now, right? He has no counter spells. He has only a Concealer Strike, if he could deal with one of the units. But I think if Pingpingho ever pulls the Ascended Rise up, we're in for a treat, ladies and gentlemen.
Let's go, Challenger, do it. Just do it. Did he get? No, he got a quick attack.
He got a quick attack. He got a second lucky find. He's looking for a challenger, and he got himself a +1/+1. So it's still not able to remove any units from Kudo's side, but 5 damage is still a lot of damage.
5 damage is still a lot of damage, but keep in mind that actually Kudo actually had the prismatic barrier, so he could contest that if he so wanted.
Yeah, so here is a clean attack coming in from Pingpingho. So not forgetting, right? The Renekton actually has like 5 points of stack on his leveling up condition. So he could try to go for the block, try to take down the Shen, but I think he has no way to actually protect the Shen if the Renekton if there is like a any form of buff coming in, right? So the Clockling is probably the best way to block against this Shen, and just at the same time pushing just 2 more damage into the Shen.
I mean,
Or
what
trying
you
to kill
want
the
to
Shen.
do, what you want to do actually as a fighting against Fiora Shen, right? Unless you yourself have protections in the form of barriers and nullifying damage, you'd actually mostly want to body block, especially when they have so high mana, because that clearly states that they have the ability to protect their units,
Right.
with their barriers.
So probably an Azir might be the best player for Pingpingho over here, but look at Pingpingho's hand, right? It's filled with spells as of right now, and the River Shaper actually triggered twice in the game so far. So I think we might not see the Ascend's Rise on turn 7, but because he has to respect a deny coming in from Kudo, unless Kudo taps out of 4 and he could go for a Ascend's Rise. But I think Pingpingho right now is just a little bit behind on board and in game because of he just has the Renekton, and the Renekton is not safe without a Quicksand.
Well, he could just call Pingpingho, and then after that proceeds to play the Ascended.
Yeah, so he could go for like, an all-in and just go for the Ascend for the fun of it. But here you see an Ezreal coming down, but likely we might get to see a Perseverance from Pingpingho. So this way he could draw himself a card and hopefully get himself that Quicksand that he's looking for to remove keywords and barriers from Kudo's units.
Yes, stuff like Quicksand, which would actually do super well against this deck, because barrier is a keyword, and the Golden Aegis comes down. And now that Pingpingho is tapped out, Kudos is just going to push. It's just going to push the damage as much as possible.
Yeah,
Wait,
so
is
Kudo
this at 3? Wait, no. With the rally, it'd be at 3, I think.
Yeah, so Shen is at 3 out of 4 right now, and with the Shen attacking, the Shen is gonna be leveling up this turn, and Pingpingho kind of have to maintain defense, playing down the Dune Keeper this turn. But the Shen leveling up this turn might be pretty huge for Kudo, because him being at 6 health is a little bit more difficult to remove as well. So, but at the same time, Shen is just gonna buff that River Shaper bigger and bigger and bigger. Still no deny inside, and I think
denies.
Still no deny inside for Kudo. So Pingpingho, as he top deck that.
There it is.
We called it, and
is Pingpingho gonna go for the go for the Sono play and then actually play the Ascended and just don't care?
Yeah, alternatively, he could go for like Perseverance, trying to find himself a few more options moving forward also. So it's all down to Pingpingho. What would he do?
What would Pingpingho do? Please don't do the Ascended, as much as I would love to see that happen.
Wow. So even so, right? This Renekton over here is just Pingpingho is just in a really, really awkward situation. He could not go for the attack with Renekton, because anything without Quicksand, any attack coming in from Pingpingho is just not gonna be safe, as the Fiora Shen is just filled with all the combat tricks and all the combat buff that you could ever think of. So he has to be a little bit more careful. And at the same time, with him not attacking, the Azir is not leveling.
Well, he could start with the Perseverance actually, just to see what are his options.
Yeah, so the clock is running. I think Pingpingho has to make a decision. He passed turn back to Kudo. I think Kudo kind of have a very comfortable pass over here. Pingpingho, you're not gonna do anything. I'm not gonna do anything. And that being said, you have no Quicksand in your hand, right? So Pingpingho has to play that Perseverance over here, or he's just baiting or waiting for Kudo to drop down to less than 4 mana, and then he could just go for the Ascended Rise. That would be insane.
If he can actually go for the Ascended Rise, that is going to be the game can actually turn on its head.
Yeah, and guys, not forgetting, right, the top deck Quicksand coming in from Pingpingho as well. So that is probably gonna be yeah, so everyone is in top deck mode. Everyone is drawing what they need to draw to counter his opponent's next play. And here we have the Renekton going in for the Green Glade duel, so that the Renekton could add a little more stacks to survive a little bit more and try to level up himself as fast as possible. But it seems like that's not gonna be the case because we will be seeing a repose coming in onto the Green Glade duo trying to take out the Renekton in this combat.
But at the same time, I guess also the reason why the Renekton blocked also is because there's this little situation called taking a lot of damage from these kinds of bots.
Yeah, and like not forgetting, right? Taking 7 damage this turn is just gonna be huge. So 12 damage, including the River Shaper is not gonna be enough. And here comes Azir making a Sand Soldier, Charm blocking the Shen as well. So it all comes down to Kudo. Do you want to remove the Renekton, or do you want to, you know, save yourself from like this huge damage and a consider strike coming in, taking out that Renekton? And it seems like he's going down.
Well, it looks like there are multiple ways for them to actually deal with the Renekton here at this point.
Yeah, so like, you know, this quicksand going into the River Shaper is not gonna save the Renekton too much.
Why?
And there you have Pingpingho scooping up immediately to Kudo. So I think Pingpingho taking the loss over here.